Today I have for you 15 of the very best Christmas dollar store DIYs, and I know you're going to love them. So let's get started. This foam board that I got from Artisa, but you can certainly use any foam board you have at home, either from Dollar Tree or anywhere else. I'm going to freehand a skate. I have no idea if it was going to turn out good or bad, but I actually like the way it turned out. So you can certainly Google images for, free images for skates and or ice skating, and you can certainly print it and then use it as a template. But freehanding it there turned out pretty well for me. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to cut it off, and then I'm going to use this cutout of this skate to then trace and cut out a second one. Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and I took both skates outside and I'm just going to spray paint the blade using a hammered silver tone Rust-Oleum spray paint. Once it was dry, I took it inside and I'm going to take a Dollar Tree black, white, and red scarf. I have been a little bit obsessed with these scarves. This is not an infinity scarf, but it's a regular scarf, but certainly beautiful, beautiful colors, perfect for Christmas. And I'm going with a cottage, snowy, kind of comfy Christmas decoration, so I think it's perfect. I'm going to hot glue the top portion of the skate, so the boot part. I'm just going to hot glue the edges, attach the scarf, and then cut out the excess. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sunset, it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sanctuary. Once I have both boots cut out and ready, I'm going to take this dusting mop from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to cut off about an inch from each side. This is just going to be a little fussy part that I'm going to add to the skates. And then I'm going to hot glue it in place and cut off the excess.
We're gonna dance. Okay? Come on. We're gonna dance, have a good time, dance, all night long. We're gonna dance, and have a good time. I think Santa's gonna come and join us in this song. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be.
I am now going to take some gray yarn and I'm going to hot glue to mimic some laces. At first, I thought I'd use a chalk marker, but it didn't work out, so yarn worked out perfect.
Let's go outside, the snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me with a smile. It's quite turkey is mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love.
All right, so now I am going to hot glue both skates together. I want them to have kind of like a look like when you hang the skates from the laces kind of look. But I want them to stick together and not just bounce around because it is foam board. So I want them to be very sturdy. So I'm just going to hot glue the front of the skate to the back of the other one.
All the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna...
And now I'm going to take some additional yarn and I'm just going to cut out 2 pieces, but I'm going to fold it in half. And that way it's going to look like laces from both skates. And that is where I would hang it from.
Go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents.
As an added touch, I'm going to add some frosted greenery that I have here left over from previous Christmas seasons. This is just to add a little bit of greenery detail and a little bit of a frosted look. Again, I'm going for a snowy cottage kind of look. And we'll be done with this one, guys, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love the way these skates turned out, and it would be beautiful with any other type of fabric too.
Making plans for what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close.
This small grapevine wreath I got on Amazon. It comes about 8 in a packet, and I'm going to have it linked in my Amazon store, which is linked down below in the description box. I'm going to use chalk paint and I'm going to dry brush some paint on it. This is just to mimic snow fallen on the wreath, and I'm going to do the same thing with these little tiny pine cones from the Dollar Tree.
Just for you, let's take a walk, and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay. Maybe kiss a bit and dream away. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire.
I'm going to use more of those frosted greenery picks that I got and I used earlier. These are the larger picks, and I'm just going to secure them to the grapevine wreath.
All I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas.
And I have these little like white little berries kind of, or baby's breath looking florals. I had them left over from the summer, but I thought it would be really cute to use here on this wreath as well. And to keep it in the same theme and same style, I'm going to take a piece of the scarf. I'm going to hot glue seams on each end. And then I'm going to make a bow using ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And this is going to be a very simple bow. And then I'm going to hot glue it to the top of the wreath.
But now I got my
And now I'm going to take another piece. This is going to be a little longer piece of the scarf, and I'm going to hot glue it to the back of the wreath, and that's where I would hang it, or where I would hang the wreath from. And then we'll be done with this one, guys. So I am going to take this Dollar Tree ornament wooden sign, and I'm going to once again use the same scarf. I'm just going to hot glue and cover the front of it. To add a little extra touch of snowy frosted like, I'm going to dry brush some chalk paint to the edges. And then I'm going to wrap the top portion of the ornament using the same gray yarn I used as the laces for these skates. I am now going to add a couple of those frosted evergreen picks, and I'm just going to hot glue them to the top underneath the yarn. I am now going to take more of that red ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to make a very simple bow, and I'm going to hot glue it right in between the yarn and the picks. And now I'm going to take a little bit extra yarn. I'm going to tie it at the end after I loop it. And I'm going to hot glue it to the back. And that's where I would hang the ornament from. And look how beautiful this one turned out, guys. All right, I'm going to take this foam cylinder from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take this leftover plunger stick that I used for a previous project, and I had this piece left over. I marked the middle of the foam, and I'm just going to use my blade knife there to cut it off, and that way it'll fit perfectly in the middle. I am then going to take 2 pieces of the same scarf. I am not measuring because it really doesn't matter. I just want them to be close in size, and this is so that I can crisscross them and I can wrap the base of the what will be a little tiny Christmas tree after I add some pillow stuffing to it as well.
No one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents. But it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day. This year I'll think about how I'm so lucky to have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way. We'll put our differences aside and just enjoy this moment of peace and love and happiness. We come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold.
All right, so after I had it all wrapped up and I cut the excess top portion of it, I am going to wrap the stick or the stem of the tree in this case using Dollar Tree garland. I am just going to wrap it around and tie it on the top, and we're not going to worry about the top just yet. We'll do that here in a minute. I am then going to take pieces of the garland and just cut them, wrapping around, and this is going to be to make branches for this tree. So the top branches will be smaller, and as I work my way down, they'll start getting larger.
We gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents. But it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day.
So for the top, I'm just going to take two small pieces and I'm going to bend them like a V, and then I'm going to hot glue into the top. This is just going to make it look that pointy, like the pointy end that trees have on top. I then cut excess and I'm just going to trim the tree, basically just giving it a nice tree-like shape. Again, going from smaller branches on the top to larger branches on the bottom. And this will give it a nice Christmas tree look. I then decided to frost it using chalk paint, but you can certainly use any paint you have. I'm just going to start dry brushing some paint on all the bristles. To keep it in the same design and style as the other DIYs, I am going to hot glue several of the evergreen frosted picks, and I'm just going to sparingly all around hot glue them, as well as the white ones that I used earlier in the wreath.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget.
I am now going to take this burlap ribbon from the Dollar General, and I'm going to make a double loop simple bow and hot glue it to the front of the tree. Are just about done with this one, and I think this little tree turned out so stinking cute. I love that everything is from the dollar store, and look how beautiful. This piece of scrap wood that I have in my garage is just a piece of kind of like a, I don't know if this is a 1x4. I think it came off of something else. Maybe it's a, I'm not sure, but it was laying around. The round long piece, I believe it was from my old home, and I think it was a handrail. I'm not sure. It has a couple holes on the top, but nonetheless, it was perfect for what I needed it. I'm going to add some wood glue, and I'm going to get them together. So join them using brad nails and the wood glue. That way I want to make a little stand for a mailbox. This is going to be a North Pole mailbox. Once they were attached, I took them outside, gave it a good coat of flat spray paint in white from Rust-Oleum, and just let it dry. Only one coat. I didn't need it to have a full coat. While that dries, it's now time to work on the mailbox. This little cardboard mailbox is from the Dollar Tree. They have smaller ones, but this is their larger one. It's a pretty good size, I think, for $1. I'm going to remove the little flag from it, and then we're going to DIY a new one. And I'm also going to remove the little door there, and that's just because I want to give it a little slit, almost as if that's where you would slit the mail through. And then once I have the slit, I am going to reattach the door permanently using hot glue.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is
I am now going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white.
or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart, and I can promise.
All right, so now I'm going to freehand a little flag here using cardboard, or not cardboard, foam board. This foam board is from Artisa, but you can certainly use foam board from the Dollar Tree if that's what you have on hand. This is what I had on hand, so it's what I'm going to use. So I am also going to use the X-Acto knife from Artisa and just make the cuts. And once I have it cut, I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Farmhouse Red.
Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sun said it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do.
Using my Cricut, I did design this North Pole decal, and I'm just going to place it on the side of it.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Here we go.
I'm going to dress up the mailbox just a bit. I'm going to take these Dollar Tree garland ties and I'm going to hot glue around the front as well as around the back.
All right. Now this Christmas, we're gonna dance. Okay? Come on. We're gonna dance, have a good time, dance, all night long. We're gonna dance, and have a good time. I think Santa's gonna come and join us in this song. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart.
And now I'm going to attach the little flag I created and hot glue it to the side.
But this year I
I am going to use this glittery red ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to wrap it around in a spiral motion on the, oh my gosh, the pole. Just to give it a little bit more of a festive look, and I think it's just dressed it up nicely.
Let's go outside. The snow is falling down, and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other.
All right, now it's time to attach the mailbox to the pole. I'm going to use a combination of E6000 as well as hot glue.
While we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want.
Using this Dollar General ribbon, I am going to make a simple bow, but it's going to have double loops. That's going to be what I place right underneath where the mailbox and the pole meet. You can see the little holes, so I want to cover that, but I'm also going to just add a little bit of just a dress up for it so that it just looks a lot more festive. I did use some of the same ribbon, and I wrapped it around the top portion of the pole to ensure that everything just looks nice and seamless. I also added more of the glittery red ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I made a triple loop little tiny bow just to place in the middle of the bigger bow. That way it just kind of looks finished. I also added a couple greenery ties. I cut them to size and just add them one in each side of the bow. Again, just to tie everything with the mailbox. And I just think it just added so much more detail to the decor.
To spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I'm making plans for what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. Just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay. Maybe kiss a bit and dream away. And in a while we're gonna go.
We're just about done. I'm just going to attach the bow using hot glue, and then I'm done, guys. This is so stinking cute. I loved the way this turned out, and it's good about 3.5 feet. It's a good size, and it's very sturdy because it being wood on the base, it's not going to go anywhere.
And drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas.
I'm going to take this Dollar General home, kind of like a winter scene. What does it say? Winter scene house. It's like a little village of wooden homes. It's meant to be placed on this little rack there that you see, but I'm going to do something different with it. I'm going to take this leftover panel that I had in the garage, and I didn't even cut it. This is exactly the size it was. I am going to use one of these larger, thicker paint stirring sticks. I'm going to measure and cut it to size, and I'm going to hot glue it and staple it to the bottom of the paneling. Once that was secure, I gave everything one coat over Stolium chalk paint in the linen white. While that dries, I am now going to take these 3 reindeers from the Dollar Tree. They're ornaments and they're so beautiful. I really love these. I'm going to give them a very, not a very, but somewhat of a different look. I'm going to remove the floral bow thingy from each one of them. I'm also going to remove the, what are they called? Oh my gosh, the top part of the reindeer. Of the silvery, glittery one, because I'm going to spray paint it white so it matches the other two. Then I'm going to take this Dollar General ribbon, and I'm going to make 3 small bows. This is going to replace the little arrangement they had around their necks. That way they look a little bit more my style and they all match.
Hugging and kissing, just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door. Lovely songs we all heard before as they walk from house to house.
I am now going to take some of the greenery that they had already in the original decor, and I'm just going to hot glue it to one side of the bow. And then I'm going to add a small pine cone to the center of each bow. And that's it for the reindeers. I'm just going to later on attach the top of the reindeer because it's drying right now outside after I spray painted it.
To wish us all a Merry Christmas Day.
All right, so I'm going to take this Dollar Tree little LED lights. They have this mesh covering over them, but I'm going to cut the mesh off of it and just keep the light string. I'm going to place it very snugly on the bottom of the where that painter's stirring stick meets the paneling. That is why I added that, so that I can have a little ledge to place the lights. Now, if you are going to recreate something like this, you're going to see me here that I'm hot gluing the wire to the paneling. Once I was all done and I placed batteries in the lights, it didn't work. Now, I'm not saying it was the hot glue, but I don't know what else it could have been, because as I'm stapling, I'm not stapling the wire, I'm stapling around the wire. So maybe it was just defective, but nonetheless, it didn't work. So after I had everything done, I had to replace the lights, and it was not an easy task, let me tell you. So just want to let you know that if you are going to recreate something like this, maybe don't hot glue the wire or staple it, just kind of somehow or another, just tie it, maybe tape it on the back. That's what I had to do. But nonetheless, it worked out in the end. All right, so now it's time to place the little village homes and the tree. I'm just going to kind of eye out how I want to place them here and there. Once I have decided, I'm going to use wood glue and hot glue to have a permanent as well as a temporary or quick adhesive. And then I'm going to start with just the base ones first.
A Merry Christmas Day. We're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe, while Santa's busy saying ho ho ho. We're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake.
All right, now I'm going to use this Artisa double-sided foam tape. It is awesome, guys. They sent me this roll. It's huge, too. I'm going to have a link down in the description box if you want to get it. It is awesome. It has a whole ton of it and all so easy to work with. You basically cut what you need, place it where you need it, remove the red strip from it, and voila, you have it. It's weather resistant. It holds so tightly. It's awesome. All right, so I'm going to use some of this tape to attach the top 2 little homes. Reason why I'm using it is because I want it to have a 3D effect, and I want these little homes to be a little bit lifted from the other ones. So I'm going to actually do this twice. I'm going to double up on the double-sided tape so it has enough separation from the back homes.
Saying hi to every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day.
All right, so now the homes are all attached. Now it's time to attach the reindeer. I am going to, as you can see, I replaced the top of the reindeer and it looks so nice and white. I'm going to attach them again using E6000 and hot glue to make sure they're not going to fall anywhere. I just want these reindeers to look like they are flying up in the sky on Christmas night and just having very magical kind of farmhouse look to this. I'm going to attach them kind of going up, so one a little bit higher than the other. I'm going to take some of this red rope-like ribbon from the Dollar General and I'm going to hot glue it and kind of have them go from reindeer to reindeer to look like they're attached. This two stockings that I'm going to make off of this infinity scarf, which is plaid or buffalo check, red and black. As soon as I saw these, I fell in love. I said, what a perfect color texture for Christmas DIYs. As a matter of fact, I'm a little obsessed and I went back and I grabbed all kinds of different colors. So you'll be seeing these scarves being used quite a bit. All right, so the first thing is I just cut it, in half or opened the infinity scarf. And then now I am just going to fold and create a 12-inch flap. So essentially it's 24 inches. So I'm going to cut two of them because I am going to make two stockings. Next, I'm going to make sure that everything is folded nice and even so that I can then now start cutting and tracing the shape of the stocking. I am just freehanding this. You can certainly search on Google for a free printable. There's no need for that. Really, it's so easy. You just imagine yourself. You can even draw it first if you need to. But in this case, I just decided to freehand it. Once I had everything cut, I then used the first stocking and traced it on the other part or the other, oh my gosh, piece of scarf so that they are both the same size and same shape.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is
All right, so now it's time to glue everything. You can certainly stitch it, sew it, but for these scarves, really all you need is some hot glue. It has a really good bond when you are gluing it together. So I would suggest this, but you can certainly use whatever you'd like. And I'm also going to, these stockings are going to be decorative. We're not going to put anything heavy or anything inside of it, although you can certainly open the top and have it be where you can actually use it as a stocking, but I just want them to be decorative.
falling down, and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you.
Once I had everything glued, I am now going to flip it inside out or outside in. And just make sure that all the little corners are nicely tucked out. Like this little corner in the heel, I should have tucked it out, but I do catch it later, and I make sure that it's all out. I did decide to fold the top just a little bit, maybe about 2 inches or so, or maybe 1 inch. This is just so that it's not as tall. It seemed too tall and too skinny. So I could have cut it, but I think folding it worked just fine. I'm not going to take this dusting mop from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to fold it in half and cut it right down the middle. This is going to be the fuzzy part of the stocking. And it's so simple, guys. You're basically just going to put it on top and then hot glue it in all the corners so that it is very secure to the stocking.
Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything to be perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Another year went by, but the difference this time is that ever since July, I've been happier than I have ever been. It's safe to say that my love for you is true. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you.
I then took pieces of scrap scarf that was just left over from when I cut the stocking, and I'm just going to hot glue it so that I can create a little strip, and this is going to be the little hanging hook on each stocking.
I longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything to be perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you.
All right, so now I'm going to take some greenery. These greeneries are from Amazon. I happened to purchase a whole bag of them, very inexpensive. If you are interested, these are great for DIYs on small projects. They are in my Amazon store, which is linked down below. And then I'm going to take, but you can certainly use Dollar Tree picks and greenery, absolutely. I'm going to take a little ball, Christmas ball, and then a little pine cone from the Dollar Tree. And look how stinking cute these look. I think these are my favorite.
I longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything to be perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and
I'm going to take these three red and white Dollar Tree balls, and then I'm going to take three smaller ones in their silver tone. Now, using my wire cutter very carefully, I'm going to snap the very top of after I removed the hanging little portion of it. I'm going to remove that because I want it to be nice and flush to the rest of the ball, and then I sanded it down so it is nice and smooth.
It's white outside, and the night is cold. Everyone.
Guys, these balls were going everywhere. It was kind of comical. All right, so then I took some hot glue and I placed a whole bunch of glob on top, right where the hole was. And I'm going to hot glue the smaller silver one right on top, kind of creating little snowman.
Lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas.
I then took these greenery ties, I think it's what they would be called. I'm just going to cut them in half and I'm going to use 3 of them. And this is just going to be wrapped around their neck, almost like a scarf.
It's a magic time. You can feel it in the air. That every child got their hearts filled up with joy. Yes, it's Christmas all around.
And then to finish it off, I'm just going to hot glue the little pine cones from the Dollar Tree right in the center, or right where the little greenery meets and twists.
All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you. This time of year is a time to.
And then, of course, we need a little hanging something. So I'm going to take some jute twine from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to, I would say it's about, I don't know, 18 inches long. You can do whatever size you want if you're going to recreate this. I'm going to tie it. I'm going to make a bow, then secure the bow, and then tie the top of the jute twine so that we can hang it.
Let our loved ones, our family and friends have a Christmas with so much love and with joy and laughter. Let us make memories that stay forever. It's Christmas today. All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
I'm going to take some more of that leftover scarf from earlier, and I'm just going to fold it in half. Now, I don't even know what size this is. It's just a scrap piece, but if I were to guess, it's about 8 inches. Or when it's folded, of course. I'm just going to cut a triangle. I'm going to do 2 of these. One's going to be smaller, and these are going to be little triangle Christmas trees. So I'm just going to cut it, and then, as I did with the stocking, hot glue the edges to create a pocket.
All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you.
I then took some stuffing from a pillow. This pillow I got at Walmart. I always have a pillow on hand. They have them very inexpensive. I always have it around for projects like these, or if I'm making a pillow or something like that. I am going to stuff each little triangle with the stuffing just so that they have a nice flush kind of texture to it.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up
I am now going to take two popsicle sticks. These are the larger ones that you can get at Dollar Tree, and these are going to be the stem. So I'm just going to stick it right in the middle and then hot glue it to seal everything.
He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, we're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe, while Santa's busy saying ho ho ho. We're feeling jolly, eating Christmas.
I am now going to create a base, a snowy base, and I'm going to take one of these foam cylinders from the Dollar Tree. Comes two in a pack. I'm only going to use one, and I'm going to hot glue more of that stuffing from the pillow on top to create a snow-like texture.
And then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face. And later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Merry Christmas Day. A Merry Christmas Day. Oh.
After I glued everything and cut excess as I needed, I am now going to take this glittery green ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the base, creating a nice seam on the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as we walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Yeah, a Merry Christmas Day.
I'm going to take the same ribbon except in the red, and I'm going to create two small bows for the bottom of each tree and just secure them with hot glue.
Dance around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas. Dance around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas. Dance around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas Day.
And now I'm just going to literally push them in the foam until I like the position they're in, and then we'll be done with this one.
Last year I thought about how things can come around just like that if everyone is here to celebrate one day. We have our ups and downs, but when there's love, there's always a way. And oh, this time of year we come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow
Dollar Tree canvas. This is the 8 by 10 size one. I'm just gonna leave it just as is. I'm not gonna paint it. I like the texture and I actually don't mind that off-white tone that it has. I'm gonna take a chippy brush. These are from the Dollar Tree. This is perfect for this project. And I'm just gonna dab the little tiny bit of the top of the bristles with a little bit of the Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the Farmhouse Red. And I'm just going to start making stripes. I'm going to kind of mimic a buffalo check design. The reason why I am oh my gosh, just putting a little bit of paint because I wanted to have that faded look. I am going to then start turning. So as you can see, I'm done with the stripes, but I'm going to keep turning so that I am swiping every stripe twice. All right, so now I'm going to take two more of those greenery ties and I'm going to twist these around. I'm going to create a tiny small wreath with it. So I'm going to shape it round and tie it on the top. I'm going to take these little berries. I removed the little wire from them. I thrifted these in a wreath that I thrifted recently, but I removed the berries and I'm just going to take 5 of them. I ended up just using 4 of them and I'm going to hot glue them around the wreath.
How I'm so lucky to have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way. We'll put our differences aside and just enjoy this moment of peace.
I'm going to take a little bit more of that green glittery ribbon and I'm going to just wrap it around the top. This is going to be how I hang the wreath.
Love and happiness, we come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday, it means so much more than words can say.
I'm now going to secure the wreath to the center of the canvas, hot gluing the ribbon on the back of the canvas. And to finish it off, I'm going to add a jute twine bow. This is a multiple strand bow because it used to be actually rope from the Dollar Tree and I separated the strands and this was left over from another project. And I think it's perfect for this tiny little wreath. Here's another wreath. Now you're gonna have to tell me what you think of this wreath because it's a little different, but I'll show you here how I made it. All right, I'm gonna take oh my gosh, I'm gonna take one of these foam rings from the Dollar Tree and I am going to wrap it around using Dollar Tree greenery or garland, I think that's what it's called. And I'm just gonna wrap it all the way around. It literally took off 15 feet.
And it is cold outside. We gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents.
After I had the ring fully covered, I am now going to start placing different kinds of greenery that I had left over from the summer, from the fall. I'm just going to start placing them randomly. I want this wreath to be mostly greenery, but I want it to have many textures. So not just the evergreen, but I want it to have all kinds of texture of all kinds of greenery. Now I'm going to start randomly hot gluing some of these pine cones that I'm just loving from the Dollar Tree. And now I'm going to take more of those berries that I thrifted and just place them sparingly all around the wreath. Then to finish it off, I'm just going to add some Dollar Tree red ribbon. This is very glittery, very cute. It's kind of busy, which is not quite my style, but because the wreath is pretty simple, I love the way it looks. I am going to take 4 of these Dollar Tree ties. They're like the greenery ties that you can use to hang garland or fill in trees. And I'm just going to just kind of like make a little loop and then twist them to create something like this. And what I'm going to do is I want to create 4 napkin ring holders. And I want to make a little bit of high-end look. So I'm going to take some of this glittery gold pick branch that I got at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut a branch and then cut smaller little branches from there and hot glue it to the center. And I'm going to do it long ways. So if you kind of imagine or picture the napkin being there long ways, this is going to kind of go up and down the napkin. Then I'm going to take a golden ball from the Dollar Tree. This is a tiny little ornament ball, and they have all kinds of colors. I'm going to put one right there in the center, and then I'm going to take some of this vase filler, and I'm going to grab a red little ball, and I'm just going to hot glue it right there in the middle as well. This is just going to add a pop of color. And that's it, guys. Seriously, one of the easiest DIYs ever. And I did the same thing 4 times to create 4 napkin rings. And I think these turned out so cute.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind
create a beautiful high-end looking centerpiece using this 15-foot garland from the Dollar Tree. And I'm not going to use all of it, but I will be using most of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little ring. So this ring, I'm just going to, just like this, loop it. And it's about 6 inches wide in the center. And then I'm going to loop it 2 more times. So it's going to have 3 loops. And that's to create a thicker, fuller kind of garland or mini wreath, I guess, effect on it. And then once I have looped it 3 times, I'm going to cut it. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to loop it again. And this time I'm just kind of threaded inside, just kind of twisting it, but not tight because I don't want to squeeze the bristles. I want them to stay nice and fluffy. So basically I'm just going to just roll it around, loop it around, and then make sure that it's secure but not too tight so it doesn't get flat on me. And I'm going to do this 2 more times so that I have a total of 3 rings.
Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sun said it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time.
All right, so now I'm going to take these 3 votive candle vases, which are so cute. They have like a golden aged look to them. I'm going to place them right in the center. And then I'm going to take more of that golden glittery pick from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to start placing a couple, one in each in between of the vases. And I'm just kind of spreading it around just so that it kind of, just until I like what I see kind of thing. And then once I dry fit them, I'm going to hot glue them. And I'm going to do the same with little pine cones that I'm going to add. I'm going to add more of those little vase fillers in the red. And then I'm also going to add bells that I got not at the Dollar Tree, but I got it at the Dollar General. And if you do not have little bells like that you're going to see here in a minute, you can always use more of those golden balls, ornament balls, those smaller ones from the Dollar Tree.
We're gonna dance. We're gonna dance, dance, dance. Come on. We're gonna dance, dance. Have a good time. Dance, dance. All night long. We're gonna dance, dance. And have a good time. I think Santa's gonna come and join us in this song. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling. All the windows in the rain is pouring.
All right, so now I'm going to take this ribbon. It's beautiful golden ribbon from the Dollar Tree and a thinner one. And I'm just going to make a simple bow. This is so that I can attach it to the front of the centerpiece and just add a very beautiful but simple golden bow that's just going to bring everything together.
Let's go outside, the snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you.
And then to finish it off, I'm just going to add these little tea candles from the Dollar Tree. They smell wonderful. And I'm just going to add one in each little vase, and that's it for this one. It turned out so cute and very, very high-end looking.
What we're gonna do, I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay. Maybe kiss a bit and dream away. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas moment.
Kind of like a platter or a cake stand or just a simple tray where you can put decorations or appetizers. And I'm going to take this Dollar Tree plate, which is very fancy already, and this leftover little terracotta pot from the summertime. And I'm going to attach it to the bottom of the plate using E6000 and hot glue.
So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to
I am now going to take it outside and spray it with metallic golden tone spray paint from Rust-Oleum. And this is a beautiful tone and it has really good coverage too. I'm going to do the top and the bottom so that everything's nicely covered.
stay with you. Let me give you a Christmas moment we'll fill with love and joy. Loving so beautiful.
Alright, so now I'm going to take this ribbon from the Dollar General and a thinner red ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to create again a simple bow and attach it with hot glue to the front of the platter.
On a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you.
And I did notice that some of the paint came off. I think it's because I got impatient and I brought it in sooner than it should have. But I did take it outside and just retouch that little area right there. But that's it. We'll be all done.
Christmas lights are all around. I can see them now. It's like they spell your name. It's insane. Now we're back here once again. Holidays and cheer. But now I got my eye set on you.
Simple but very high-end looking wreath. I found this wire wreath at the Dollar Tree, and although it was already golden, I want to give it more of that metallic golden tone that I've been using throughout. And I'm just going to lightly spray it. Just one light coat is all it needed. And once it was fully dry, I brought it inside. And then I'm going to add some greenery and some decorations, of course. I'm going to take the leftover garland that I had from the centerpiece, and I'm just going to have 3 pieces. They're about maybe about a foot, maybe 10 inches to a foot long. I don't have in mind what size I wanted it, just long enough where it's going to be perfect for the wreath. And then I'm going to take additional greenery ties from the Dollar Tree and just to make it a little fuller. And I know it's looking like a spider right now. At least that's what I thought when I was making it. I'm like, what am I doing? But anyways, it comes together, I promise. So I'm just gonna put these crisscross them all and then take a half piece of the tie and just tie it in the back. And then I wanted to make the decorations kind of like on the bottom side. And then I changed my mind and then I placed it on the bottom of the wreath, which was a good decision. So I'm just going to attach it to the wreath using another piece of, or another tie, greenery tie from the Dollar Tree, and then attach it and twist it in the back.
It's going down on Christmas Day. 'Cause I'm trying to tell you in every way. Yeah, I've been trying to show you, but somehow felt I wanna have someone to hold. Walking through the falling snow. I've been trying to tell you in every way, but now they're done. I'm left on away.
All right, so now it's time to add some color. I'm going to take these berries from the Dollar Tree and just take two of the little stems there and then just attach them. Literally, I'm not even going to glue them. I'm just going to squeeze them right in there. And I have one on each side. And these little ornament bells are so adorable and just a great size too. So I'm going to use the golden one again just to keep with the golden theme. And I removed everything to put everything pretty much back again except for the little golden bow. And this just because sometimes those little like arrangements that they put on the ornaments, they're like kind of like crazy looking sometimes. So I removed them and I just glue them back on again, but this time just a little neater and just kind of what I wanted to see. And then I'm just going to hot glue the bell right to the bottom of the wreath. But I did thought about adding a bow because it just needed something else. So I'm going to use the same ribbon that I used earlier and I'm going to make a simple bow. Once again, I like to keep things simple. Hot glue it to the bottom center of the wreath. And then I'm going to add more ribbon to the top so we can hang it and we'll be done.
We've got you on my mind, but I know this time you're on top of my list. Only wish, and as we decorate the tree, only you and me. I'll be making plans, make you understand. I'm not gonna play it safe. It's going down on Christmas Day.
We are just about done, guys, and I just love the way these decorations turned out. Oh my gosh, I'm not much of a golden tone kind of person, but every so often when I use it, I just fall in love with it. It's just so classy, and with the red and the green, it just looks beautiful. This is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear which one you like the most or which one you think you can maybe even recreate yourself. I know there's a lot in here, but let me know if you can. If you're visiting for the first time, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you consider joining our YouTube family. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I have a playlist here with tons more of inspiration for you. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.